Well, I wasn't going to make any more videos. It felt kind of pointless. But we do live in the modern world, so why not? The reason I decided to was because, for whatever reason, me deciding to go ahead to the other world, where I know I have a righteous judge who will love me unconditionally and understands the feelings of my infirmity. I got some comments. Noticed when I turned on my phone to do. To text my mother a modern day suicide note to speak my final truth to the woman who needed me to kill myself, and said so to my face and looking me in the eye when she said, "Until you get your father out of you, I won't be able to love you. We won't have a good relationship." And that was a real smack in the face 20 years ago when I was getting ready to start my life over for the umpteenth time. At that point, married 3 times. Final husband preferred porn, and I got triggered. That's what happened. Because I was traumatized as a child by my dad. Victimized, abused, used, manipulated, controlled, conned, molested. And she needed me to get him out of me, and I came to the conclusion, after 40 days and nights sitting in the woods with very little food for the first portion and no food for the final 3 days of it. Each time, 10 days, 40 days and 40 nights. And what I discovered was that I needed to love myself. I needed to love the Father that's in me. Otherwise, I was never going to be happy. And honestly, the last 5 years of my life since I discovered that on my back porch one night, when I became so present that it was him sitting there and it was his legs crossed the way he used to, him holding the cigarette, and probably drinking a glass of wine, but he didn't drink wine. He drank beer and Crown Royal and Jack Daniels, from what I remember. Jack Daniels was one of the first drinks he gave me to get me drunk so he could pretend like he was my boyfriend in the drive-in theater one night. So, when I realized that I needed to love myself, and the only way to do that was to really love my Father for all of him, I started to see all the good things that he gave me instead of all of the things that he did that were very harmful. And I began to love all the gifts that I have and all the other things that everybody dislikes, especially my mother, so much. My laugh, I realized that night it was funny. Oh, that's what triggered it. I was sitting there and something struck me funny while I was holding my wine and smoking my cigarette, and I laughed out loud, freely, and I heard my dad, because I got his laugh, which is something I can never get rid of. It's not something I let happen very often in most of my life. because I hurt him. And it hurt too much. So after that night, I began laughing. And I enjoyed hearing my dad because I knew if he was alive, he would understand. At least he would understand. More than my mother, who just wants me to get rid of him. So I decided that I wasn't going to try to win her love anymore. I had taken care of her when she needed me and cleaned her house and tried to help my brother for her because I thought it might make her feel better. I did everything that I could to try to win my mother's unconditional love, acceptance, and approval. I loved her with all of my heart until that day, and I realized I couldn't not laugh anymore. And honestly, for all those years, I hadn't thought about killing myself, even though life hasn't been very happy. And there haven't been a lot of reasons to laugh. I've lived primarily alone, raising my kids, having dysfunctional relationships, repeating the pattern over and over. So much so that this last relationship that I had a child with the man, because he drank hard liquor, it was just, I was constantly triggered and constantly struggling, and he didn't understand. And he's tried to take Paul away, and he's tried to put me in prison. I don't think he actually thought in his head, I'm going to try to put her in prison, but he wanted to get rid of me so bad that he did something that was the final result of it, and it destroyed my life. I had no more insurance, no more business, because I had 2 businesses, and all my clients had to turn over all their financial records to be evaluated to see if I had done some fraudulent thing. Obviously, I didn't go to prison, or I wouldn't be here now able to do what I'm getting ready to do. But I want everybody to know that, you know, I don't have a problem with doing what I'm doing. And I wonder if this is what it's like once people finally decide and they mix up their cocktail and they end their lives. They're just done and they're finally free, and I don't have to go back, and I don't have to face another custody thing over my baby that I chose to have for a man that said he wanted a family. And all he saw was my beauty on the outside, and on the inside, there was nothing for him. And for 10 years, I've lived next door to him, trying to figure out what was wrong with me that he said needed fixed before he could have a relationship with me. He drove me to the African shaman and burial rituals with ants that I laid in a grave with, and walking on hot coals and fire rituals and water rituals, calling on God and nature to help me fix whatever everybody thinks needs fixed. I don't think anything needs fixed. I think I need a loving, supportive community that understands that I'm different, that I'm not like everybody else, that there were things that happened to me that have hardwired my brain, and I may get triggered, and I need patience, and I need understanding, compassion and empathy and kindness and love and friendships. I have no friends, not one friend in my life. And though my baby's dad said that he wasn't gonna, throw me out on the street because I'm living in his house and he needs me to get out, part of the deal that he made with me was he didn't like my frumpy old woman attire, and I had to change the way I dressed, and he's going to buy me new clothes. I'm going to lose my car. I've tried to find work. That's why I started my own businesses, because I was never able to function in society with my social issues. And I was successful in what I did. People loved how I cleaned their houses. God knows how many toilets I've scrubbed. The vomit and, everything that you clean up in the bathroom. It kept me alive all these years so that I could get at least my first 3 kids that I had sole responsibility for raised. And thank God, if I was gonna pick a man, I picked one that at least was gonna love the kid. He may have hated me or struggled with who I am and couldn't find unconditional love in his heart any more than my mother, but he loves his son, and Paul will have a big happy family. He does not need everything that he's been put through. He doesn't deserve to have to go through another custody thing. It's over the top. I quit paying all the creditors. I'm 82 pounds, probably 80 now. I haven't eaten for days, and I can't sleep because of all the stress of worrying about where I'm going to go and how I'm going to magically manifest a place to live. So, anyway, I prefer to go to the God of heaven that I've loved all my life and let him take care of me and put my weary, tired, aching bones to rest, and pray that whatever I have done was good enough for everybody to survive it. So, Tina, no, I'm not okay. I'm tired of living alone with people who don't want to be around me. I'm tired, and I'm sick, and going to the hospital is only going to give me more debt on top of what I already have. And when they release me in 5 days with drugs that I can't afford and no insurance to pay for it, and their theory of how to solve this problem, that's not the answer. The answer is a community. That's the answer. And that's why I'm making this video, because this is why people kill themselves. Just know that.